Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to the Radio Toons podcast. How's it going?
It's going great, man.
I'm Steve.
I'm Ernie.
There's a lot of shit to talk about, I think.
I mean, yeah.
There's a big movie that came out, obviously.
We're going to get to that.
That has, everybody excited. Well, some people excited and some people just disgusted, I guess. But, just some lighter news to start off, because Overwatch had their thing today.
Oh,
their
yeah.
Halloween event.
Yeah. I saw some of the costumes.
And I was extremely excited to get home and play that. Yeah, they had some really cool ones. Sombra got a really cool one, and 76 got a really cool one.
I like the McCree one.
He has like green eyes, and he's like a...
Like the mask is a skull. And
yeah,
everything.
I was actually surprised that he got one, because he got one last year. He got they're called like epic skins or something, or legendary or something, like the full on model change, not just like the reskin, but like the full on model change. He had like a crossbow on his back and shit. He was Van Helsing.
That was really good. It's better than the first time when he was just Sherlock Holmes.
No, that was the anniversary.
Oh, that was the anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of people got some new skins. I'm kind of surprised they didn't add a new mode. It's still the Junkenstein Revenge thing, which is getting kind of old at this point, but whatever.
How old is that game? 4 years old?
Three
Three?
at this point, I believe. But they did spookify the chateau. Mm-hmm. So the main deathmatch map, which is Widowmaker's like chateau, her house. They spookified it and it looks awesome. It's all like
They made it all spooky.
There's like there's like rooms with like red lights, and then there's like green lighting. It looks really cool. I love how they go all out with the decorations and stuff like that. I was telling one of my friends that I'm hoping at one point they just have enough events, like, obviously the more the better, right? Mm-hmm. But like, let's say like Halloween has another event that same month. Mm-hmm. So maybe like Halloween's is just the last 2 weeks and the first 2 weeks is something else, or
that's
just
pretty short.
So they just have like shit going on constantly.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like every week they announce something new until the last week.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
I don't know. Like it would just be nice to have more stuff, because like I paid $40 for that shit, and it's like everything's free. It's so ridiculous to me. Like I can't believe
they're still churning it out.
Yeah.
I wonder how they keep making money off that game.
Loot boxes, and
I guess so. I mean, that does work.
They have a shitload of merchandise, dude. Like, I have so much Overwatch crap. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, obviously, it only.
You mean just from the Spirit Halloween store? Or
no, I don't have any of that stuff. I mean, actual legitimate. Like, I have Nendoroids. I have 4 of their Nendoroids. I know.
That's the licensing stuff for sure.
Yeah, I have like the Diva headphones and the mouse and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it all stems from good character design. That's what's gonna sell it. It's not like I'm buying stupid stuff. I mean, it is stupid.
Relatively, maybe.
It's designed very well, I should say. The usefulness of it is questionable.
Right.
But yeah, I've also been playing Mega Man 11.
Oh, right. That came out last Friday?
Yeah, something like that. 2 weeks ago, I think. But I enjoy it. I really love it right now. I was a bit skeptical at first, because the demo was kind of like... I played the 3 lives that you get. Mm-hmm. I got a game over, and I was just like, okay, I'll just wait for the game to come out. I'm not trying to perfect this demo or anything. But now I got a hang of the whole like new system that they have, like the double gear system.
Okay.
They have a slow-mo like gear, so when you press R you go slow-mo, which is really cool for like doing little tight jumps and maneuvering around enemies and stuff like that. Okay. And then they have, if you press the L button, you get like a turbocharge, so you shoot,
you fire faster.
You get a higher powered fire shots, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's like a
sounds like Beautiful Joe.
Kind of, actually. Now that you say that, it reminds me of that a lot.
Does it have like a bar that runs out when you push either of those buttons?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it does sound very much like Beautiful Joe.
But it's cool because I like that it's the kind of change that can be... You could say like, oh, they're just dumbing it down for noobs or whatever. Right. But there's actually like... I feel like there's a lot of depth to it, Like, I feel like speedrunners would use that to help them get through, like, type scenarios, or like... Because the way I use it right now is like... I'll use it to jump right in front of an enemy. You know how you can get super close to enemies in Mega
Yeah,
Man?
like pixel perfect jump.
Yeah,
right
because the hitboxes are accurate and stuff.
and
so
then you
like
speed up and
no, I slow down and I make these like really really tight jumps around the enemies just to like get through a part really fast or something. Like I don't know. It's cool. I like that they gave Mega Man more tools basically because I know a lot of people were even like when Mega Man got the slide. They were just like, it's too much. I'm like, really?
the slide is too much.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I love the charge shot. I love the slide.
Me too.
Because the purest Mega Man fans will just play Mega Man 2, and he doesn't have a slide. He doesn't have a charge shot. So, whatever.
All right, whatever. I like the slide. I like the power. The power up became such a part. Like, I think I started in Mega Man 4 or something, and it became so like ingrained to always hold down that button.
Yeah, to me, it's always been second nature to just like I'm charging my charge shot. Even like. It's great too because like I love how like in Marvel vs. Capcom they also carry that over. Like Mega Man has a charge shot, Zero has a Buster shot too. But anyway, just the last thing on Mega Man, it's actually kind of neat that they added this. So I told you if you press the L button, you get like a supercharged fire thing. You can actually use that on the enemy weapons that you get. So one of the weapons you get is like a little bomb that floats.
Right.
And if you're charged up and you use it, he throws like a big ass one.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's
like
cool.
That.
And all the robots too. I love all their designs. They did a really good job this time with the robot designs. I don't know, but I love it. I think it's really good right now. So.
I want to say that's a recycled thing because I remember being able to charge up enemy weapons before.
That was in X.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, and that was when you had the X Buster. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess if that's what you mean. Let her go there.
Let's say that's what we mean.
What have you been playing, Ernie? You been playing anything?
Well, actually, it's funny. I wanted to just mention something really quick.
Okay.
I've been playing The Messenger still.
Right.
Because remember, I had told you guys a couple, like 2 weeks ago, it froze on me.
The infamous soft lock.
And then I started a game with Steve and just kind of let him play it. And he played it enough, so they got to like the 3rd level. I was like, well, I know the rest of this. I could probably just beat it here. Went through it, and now I'm... then I got back to where I was, and I was like, that wasn't that far. Let me just see how much further I can get with this then. And I got to it, and apparently that first part is probably like 4 hours. And there's another 4 hours to the game after that that's really difficult, so... I'm in this.
So it's a big game.
It's a huge game.
That's
and
good.
I'm just realizing it now.
That's good though for a $20 game. That's amazing.
That's really good.
That's a really good deal.
So I've been playing that, but I've been playing Mario Party, and as of this recording, I've played it I think 3 times through. One is a single player, a couple of groups, and some regular party games. I haven't tried out a lot of the modes they have there because they have 6 different modes to start out, and then they have this whole back area. Like, you can walk around in this plaza, and they let you... And then there's people standing around, and then, like, there's places where you can see there's a pipe that will come up, or there's spaces where something's about to go.
Oh, so
in the back, there's a stage with Waluigi.
Haven't unlocked everything.
I haven't unlocked everything,
okay.
and I want to make sure that I get, like, a lot of the modes out of the way. Because, like, right when you start up Mario Party, it asks you how many switches, how many players. So you could do like 4 switches for 4 players.
So there's like a million combinations.
That's
cool.
No, not a million combinations, but there's a lot of combinations. So like right now, it's just been the 1 switch with 4 people. And
can you do like any amount of switches?
Up to 4.
So like you could have like 3 and then just 1 guy with no switch.
Yeah, so one of you will play on 1 switch, and then 2 of you will play on the other switch, but. What I was disappointed in is no matter how you play, you always play with the Joy-Con detached.
Just one?
Just one.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's how you have to play. There's no, like, I'm going to use this Pro Controller or something like that. It's always like that. And the reason being is that everybody has to have a little tiny Joy-Con for each of the minigames.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the minigames are, like, the full quality of a Joy-Con is, like, swinging it. Like a samurai sword or something like that.
Okay.
They've dumbed a lot of that down to be like, so some of them are like hold it up straight, and then move it backwards and forwards very slightly to try and like it's a magnifying glass, and you're trying to look up this picture.
Oh, that's
and when
cool.
you get it right where it's
like
supposed
to
to
focus
be,
it, yeah.
the picture comes alive and waves at you. So that's how you get it.
That's
so
cool.
it's like it's subtle, you know.
Yeah.
The most exercise I've done with the Joy-Con was one where you climb up a rope or a pole, and so
you have to stroke it, like a. I see what you're doing.
Well, no, you push down on the top button to grab.
Okay.
And then pull down, so you pull yourself up on the pole, let go,
okay.
and then reset. So you keep doing that. And so you could do like really small bursts, or you could do like big, like long jumps. Because when you do that, they like grab the pole and jump up.
Oh, that's
higher.
cool.
So you depends on how you like to play.
But you like it.
So far, I really like it.
That's the
game is faster.
That's the main thing because we bought Mario Party 10. And we were fucking
you can play that mode.
Severely disappointed with that.
This is what's crazy is that you can play all sorts of different modes, including cooperative, just like you did in 10. Some people like that weird 10 thing where you're all in the same car moving forward.
I guess if you're playing
play
if you're playing with like children, I guess it's fine. But
yeah, but it's like I haven't played that mode yet, and I want to see is it better here because the regular Mario Party mode by yourself is just like a regular game of Mario Party. But what I like is that when you pop out of a one-player game, you can, depending on what you do next, you could just pop right back into the game after you've gone to the plaza. So right now, my one-player game is saved on the Mario Party, cool. As long as you don't like close down the software.
Yeah, I want to try it. I'm really interested. I know a lot of people have been saying like Mario Party's back, and that's the kind of shit I want to hear.
This is almost like a Mario Party Ultimate because it has everything.
Yeah, I remember I was even excited for Mario Party Top 100 on the 3DS, and then just hearing like terrible reviews, and I'm like, how do you fuck that up? It's just mini games. It's supposed to be good, like.
Well, like the problem with the Mario Party is that first of all, it takes forever. Like a game of Mario Party takes about 45 minutes if you do like 15. I think that's the smallest amount you can do. But like
But that's a board game.
It's a board game. Exactly.
That's what you do in board games. Like Monopoly's not fucking action packed, but people do it because it wastes time. You know?
And then there's just a mode for mini games, so you just set an amount of mini games and then see who comes out on top. Which is like that could be a quick 10-minute game.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of that too.
That's cool.
So what I haven't played, and this is kind of what I want to play, is 4 Switches with 4 different players because we know enough people for that to happen. But the problem is, it's like that's where you unlock these really crazy games that you saw in the commercials.
Do you have to have more than one cartridge?
Yeah.
Oh,
you can't just play off one.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. How many people can play off one though? Everyone, right?
Everybody can play off one.
Okay.
So if we have it, 4 people can play off because you have 4 Joy-Cons.
Okay.
Like you can do that. But like I said, I so far I'm enjoying it. But I can't really recommend it or tell you no, skip this one because there's too much of it that
From what you just told me, I'm recommending it. It sounds good because
it is really great because like there's a lot of new things in it. Like the AI is a lot faster for one.
What does that mean?
They just do things faster.
Okay.
So, and their strategy is like depending on it. In this one, it's weird. If you want to play easy, medium, or hard, you get to play with a certain section of characters. Like the harder characters are Wario and Waluigi. Like the easier characters are Peach and Daisy and Luigi.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's a bit sexist.
But every character has not only their regular dice, but they have their character dice too.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and then each level has a lot more like nuances to it.
Okay.
And you can gain allies.
Okay.
Which have different penalties and like.
So there's a bit more strategy then.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
Even like down to like picking your character and stuff.
Way more.
That's cool. I like that.
So it's like but there's pros and cons to every character you pick right now.
Okay.
So like Mario may have like Mario's was like he has a block of 1, 3, 3, 3, 5, and 7. So it's like more often than not you're gonna get a 3.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? But like, for example, that's one cool thing about Mario. But one of the companions is like if you roll a 3, the companion takes 3 coins off you.
Okay.
But he still rolls his dice.
Okay.
You know, so you get like 2 rolls of the dice out of him.
How are the maps? You like the maps?
I've played 3 maps so far. There was the one that I've gotten the farthest in is the islands, the different islands, and man, they're ramped up so much.
Do they have different skins?
What do you mean by skins? Like the different players? No.
Remember Mario Party 2? They would dress up.
I miss that so much,
dude.
And
I know
they don't do it anymore, and I never understood why. Because everyone had like, oh,
that's why
you're Sheriff Mario, and there's the outlaw Bowser's coming into town.
That's
and then
why,
at the end of it, you would fight.
You have like the story, but that's why I was saying, like, I think it's insane that I feel like Mario Party 2 was like the last good one, and that was like 25 years ago, dude.
Isn't it weird?
So that's why I feel like when you say that it's good, that's like a big deal to me, because I feel like Mario Party's been absent. There's been this hole in my life of just
Mario Party.
Yeah, like I mean, Smash Brothers has definitely filled the void, and like there's other games,
right?
But like Mario Party has just been like, where have you been?
Where have you been my whole life?
Yeah,
like, it's like again,
it's like your friend turned into a junkie, and you're just like, what happened to you, man? You used to be cool. You see him on the streets, and what do I do?
Dude.
That's Mario Party.
And that's what it felt like coming back to it. I was like, man, there's everything in here, and you could just keep unlocking more and more stuff. But I feel like I need more people with more switches to fully get like the full amount out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's why I'm like, should I recommend it? Should I not? Because it's like I want more people to get it so we can play. But like I it is $60.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's a $60 game.
Yeah, Mega Man 11 is $30, and I was pretty surprised at that.
And the Messenger is like $24.
Yeah, I know, because you were saying that Messenger was like 20-something bucks.
Yeah.
And it's like, you sound like you've been playing it way longer than like...
But like, that's the weird thing about the Messenger. The Messenger's super straightforward in the controls. The controls don't change much.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, okay, like, I'm not saying that Mega Man's not worth it, but it's like, I assume it's the 8 Master Robots, the Boss Rush, and then Wily. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So and like speedrunners have been doing it like in 5 hours, I think was the first run of theirs. So like
they're already beating it?
So like yeah, of course, speedrunners beat that shit the same day, dude. But like my point is, like, $30 for like a 5-hour game is a bit ridiculous nowadays, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah,
I would say it is.
I mean, whatever. The production value's there. The art's really cute. I don't know. It's fine. You know what's cool actually? Real fast, last thing. They have Mega Man has really good art. They have these really like cool little like slideshow style cutscenes.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, with like cool drawings, and I'm like, it looks just like the original art. Like, I'm like, what? You guys fucking had these guys, and you just like you didn't use them? Are you serious? Like, what were they doing this whole time? Why are you guys making shit for the last like 8 years? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Who cares? I guess
they should have been making a fucking cartoon or something. Keep us really engaged.
They have a Mega Man cartoon.
How badass would it be to see a Mega Man cartoon come back? Especially with all these people who have loved Mega Man in the past, who've never had anything like it.
Here's the thing.
Like a real Mega Man.
The people in charge of those decisions, I guess, are fucking idiots or something, because the TV show that's on TV right now.
Yeah, that weird 3D one.
He's like weird. He's like redesigned completely.
Yeah,
he looks kind of strange, and
he looks
has like
Tronish.
Yeah, and he has like human companions.
It's dumb.
And then they're gonna make a live action movie. So
with Vin Diesel?
No, they said a live action movie, right?
Right.
I'm like, you are fucking stupid. Don't you understand that like Astro Boy exists already?
Right.
Astro Boy is such a beautiful movie, and it's like the 3D looks so good. Why didn't you just do something like that? You could have done something just as good as that. Like,
I mean, like, here's the thing, right? Like, I'm all for updating when it's necessary. Mega Man has such a streamlined look right now that I feel like a 2D cartoon, or at least like a cel-shaded 3D cartoon, would do perfectly well. And you don't need to reinvent the wheel when your character designers already have this guy down.
I know. It's like Mega Man is mostly gameplay. I'm not saying he's badly designed, but why would you change the design in the first place? It's already so good. A lot of people that have Mega Man 11 right now are nostalgic for the originals.
Yeah.
Like, how are you're trying to rebrand it to sell to a new audience? It's like, it's not. I don't think the concept of Mega Man is necessarily something that people are gushing like that. Really, they love it or something. It's just
there's I mean, I love his design only because it's simplistic in the same way Mario's simplistic. He's wearing plumbing clothes and a hat.
Primary colors.
Easy, yeah. And that, I mean, Mega Man is what he is, and the most badass like mascots have been super simple, you know.
Yeah, Mega Man's one of those things too where it's like the only reason he's blue is because NES had like a good amount of blues. So
the highest spectrum of blues in pixels, that's the one that had the most.
Yeah, that's why he was blue.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, you can't recreate that, you know? It had
He came out of necessity. The same thing. It's like Mario came out of necessity. How do you like separate his body and all that kind of stuff?
Give him a mustache.
Give him a big nose,
yeah.
give him a mustache, and an overall. That's the easiest way to give him clothes.
Yeah, that's how they... Yeah.
And like, he's a plumber. Sure, why not?
Yeah, well, anyway, I mean... They're going to make that Sonic movie, too. So, like, I don't know what's up with these live-action movies, you know? Like, we already talked about it. Yeah, we already talked about it last week. But I guess on to the meat of this podcast.
Yeah, A Star Is Born came out over the weekend. No, we're kidding.
That?
We watched Venom.
What is that?
All right, we watched Venom.
What is that? iTunes recommended that to me.
What, A Star Is Born?
Yeah,
Star Is Born is
real quick.
Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. It's a remake of an old movie.
Okay.
And apparently they're really good in it. So.
Okay, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, so we watched Venom. And
we watched Venom, okay? I'm going to tell you right now. I missed the first 5 minutes. Because...
You know what the first 5 minutes remind me of?
What?
Battletoads.
Why is that?
Because it starts off on like this empty space, and then the ship flies by, and they're doing the whole thing.
So you get to see the symbiote come from the moon or something, or what?
Well, no, it's like they went out and like... Because here's the thing, like, I wasn't totally settled in, and there's like, they're talking over the radio, and all of a sudden he's like, oh my god, what the hell is that? Oh no, we're going down. So there's a lot of, I might have missed something of importance right there. But essentially, the rocket went out to get samples for something, and on its way back, one of them got out, and it like messed up the ship.
Okay. So it
crashes.
I really didn't miss much then.
No,
because
but like, if anybody's seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it looks like the beginning just looks exactly like Battletoads, like empty space, and then all of a sudden the shit flies by.
And then
I was like, oh, and then it goes.
And then if you did the code right, then you get 2 players. That's
exactly.
Right. Okay. Okay. So full spoilers for Venom from here on out.
Oh yeah, we're spoiling it. If you haven't watched it,
I hope you guys watched it.
And if not, it's not like there's a big spoiler in it. Like, there's no big, huge twist in it anyway.
I guess not.
No, there's no big twist.
I guess the only spoiler is that the movie's dog shit. But
wow, that's a lot, Steve.
You know what? Apparently I'm wrong, because everybody I've talked to loves this movie.
Loves it is a strong one. It's like, here's the thing. Right now I'm going to tell you, I watched the movie, and I was engaged.
Okay.
I watched it to the very end, and I was entertained. Now, with all the hype behind it, and Tom Hardy being out there being like, we're going to make the best Venom movie ever, it does let you down. Because you want this... Like, the advertisement, too, was like, the world has enough superheroes. Time for a supervillain, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, that's not what the movie is. It feels way more like a superhero movie than it does a supervillain movie.
I think that's basically the movie in a nutshell. It basically has... it's like having an identity crisis the entire time.
Yeah.
There was actually a point in the beginning where there was like a jump scare or something. And I was like, oh man, is this going to be like a horror movie? No. But it's like, no, as soon as he gets Venom, it's like a buddy cop film, like a shitty buddy cop, like comedy film. And then like it turns into like an action film at the end. And it's like, what is happening? Like, I don't understand what the fuck I'm supposed to feel right now.
So let me lay out the synopsis so we got this right, okay? So for the most part, I think everybody knows the whole Venom story, but because Venom is tied up with Spider-Man, they kind of alluded to Spider-Man, but not really. Okay. So Eddie Brock is a reporter in San Francisco.
He's not in New York.
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 That is the dumbest shit.
It's not dumb.
Well, okay, why
because
is it not
they
dumb?
do allude to the fact that he used to be a reporter in New York, but he got chased out of town, and they never explain. Like, she's like, didn't you get chased out of town? He's like, no. And it's like, he did, but he's like, nah, babe, I moved out here for you, baby. And like that kind of thing.
Okay.
So he's moved to San Francisco. He's a reporter, and he's like, in the very beginning of the movie, he's this hotshot news reporter who doesn't take shit from anybody until he interviews this dude who owns the spaceship that crashes in the very beginning with the symbiotes and everything in it. Like, they make no bones about it. He's like, here are the symbiotes. They're in. Boom. There's no like, what is this?
Yeah.
Kind of shit, right? So, he interviews that guy, but being Eddie Brock, he's like, I'm gonna get to the real stuff, and he shouts accusations to him.
That whole first part, dude. The first 20 minutes of the movie were so shitty.
Yeah,
I was like,
shitty.
what is happening? Like,
yeah.
I was like, I really don't care. Like, I didn't think there was.
They set up a bunch of stuff that I thought was gonna pay off. And wait, like let me just finish this part, right? So
they set up "Have a nice life, Eddie."
Yeah,
and it's like,
a couple
okay.
times.
I was
okay.
same line twice. Cool.
Anyway, the guy ruins his life for doing that. Loses his wife, loses his job, so he's working as like a dishwasher.
Yeah.
His life sucks. Enter the symbiote.
No way.
The symbiote like helps him out and stuff, and then it's like Steven said, it's a buddy cop movie till the very end, and they're like, let's save the world, and it's like the stupidest reason to save the world, but like whatever. Anyways,
he's looking for a job in a newspaper. Like it's the fucking Middle Ages.
Because he can't afford anything else.
Oh, because he can't afford internet.
Because remember, before he had like an iPad, and he was like, "It's the Brock Report. It's the Eddie Brock Report.
Yeah.
I have a motorcycle. I'm cool and stuff like that." The weird thing about this movie is,
hold on. You say he's not rich, yet he buys a $20 newspaper from a homeless lady.
But because he's trying to help her out.
Okay.
Because he's a good guy.
He's a great guy. Okay, I forgot.
And that's the thing about Eddie. The Eddie Brock character.
Why does he love?
He's already a nice, good guy. So it's like, I think that was the part that bothered me the most, was this arc is like, if we're with Eddie, right, and he's already a good, complete person, what are we seeing at the very end?
Yeah,
it's like there's no arc really. The arc actually takes place with the symbiote.
Okay.
But the weird thing is, it's like the symbiote doesn't come into the movie until like, I would say 20, 30 minutes in. So it's like almost halfway through the movie that you get to the symbiote.
Yeah, I don't know if you felt like this. When the movie ended, I was like, is it over?
Yeah.
That was like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Episodes of Sherlock are longer than this shit. Yeah, are you serious?
It seems really fast.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, I really didn't have enough time to like any of these characters. Like the symbiote,
actually, the scientist lady, and again this is spoilers, but the scientist lady that comes after
John Ralphio's sister,
the Mona Lisa, money please.
Yeah,
her. I laughed when she came on screen. It was funny. You get to see her for like 5 minutes.
That's that.
And then they're like, okay, let's sneak into the building and do this thing. And then you find out, the guy finds out, and then he feeds her to the symbiote, and you're like, okay, bye. And she was the only one who had like something to lose.
Yeah, so let me. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie is when he threatens her, right? He says, "You have kids, right?" And she's just like, "Oh shit!" And she said, "He just threatened me, so I better go tell Eddie Brock, and just infiltrate this building. That's probably full of security." Yeah,
because and that's how they found out.
And hey, look, they turns out that they found her and they killed her.
And she was like, "You were one of our best." I was like, doesn't she know that there's security all over the place and they would record Eddie Brock coming in?
Yeah, here's the other thing too. So he's in the little thing with the red, and he's like, "Open it up." When he leaves, and the thing opens up.
Yeah.
So you're telling me one of her scientist buddies was just like, "Yeah, all right, I'll kill her." Like, there's so many parts of this movie where I was just like, what?
That would never happen.
Like, why did that happen?
Also, the main villain, I didn't get enough time to like actually hate him.
I had knew nothing about that guy.
He shows up and he seems like this guy who is. He's supposed to feel kind of like a Norman Osborn.
Okay.
He's like, I'm something of a scientist myself. Kind of like, because the first time you see him, he's with kids.
That's a nice quote, by the way.
He's like, the first thing you see is he's talking to children, being like, hey, this little girl puts up her hand, and everybody's like, hey, shh. And he's like, hey, don't let them tell you, don't let them shush you because we're the ones that ask the question, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's so self-righteous.
Uh-huh.
And then he doesn't even ask her for the question. Later on, he just leaves. But, like, you get that part of him, that he's like, I'm all about science, right?
Uh-huh.
But then right away, he's just, like, murdering people.
I love that part, too, where he tells his entire, like, mission statement to this drugged-up junkie who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And then he immediately kills him. So I was like, all right, that's cool. I guess that was just for us, you know? Like,
I don't know what I don't know what the point of that was, because, like, if you're trying to, like, was he assuming that, or hoping that the guy was going to survive?
I have no idea.
So that he would thank him for, like, being the first man to have contacted the symbiote? Like, because they said that, like, the symbiote attaching to somebody is just like a transplant of an organ.
The symbiosis is like rare or something. That's the other thing too, is like they're not going to explain why the symbiote just merges with Eddie like perfectly,
because it's like if they like the body they're in, that's about it, because they try to do it scientifically where he starts saying that it's like, oh, so it's like how you have to match a transplant to the host.
Yeah.
Like, they have to have the same blood type, and they have to be an exact match, or else the organ won't take.
And look, okay, I don't have a problem with them not explaining that, right?
They didn't even have to do that.
They didn't. Okay, if you're gonna say that they don't have to explain it, right?
Right.
If you're gonna go that route, then give me the fucking Venom logo. Like,
yeah,
if you're not gonna explain,
you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't.
If you're not gonna do shit like that,
listen.
Then give me web. Then give me swinging.
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because where does that come from? Like,
who gives a shit, right? Because nobody cares about explanations,
first
right?
First of all, I was like, that was one thing that bothered me. Is like, we are Venom. He's like, first of all, you can speak our language. Second of all, why did you pick that name? You know what I mean? Like, there's no. And by the way, the other symbiote that they fight is called Riot, and I was like, these are like the stupidest names. If I was coming into this fresh, like, I hadn't known Venom for the longest time. The word Venom and the word, like, Riot are the stupidest things, because the symbiote itself doesn't like when you call it a parasite, but he likes it when you call him Venom. It just doesn't make any sense.
The part where so at one point that he like fishes himself out of the water and he's talking to him and he's like, my name is Venom and all this shit, and he starts explaining to him what he is. And I was literally like,
is he just having a conversation?
No, I was flashback to when I was a kid, and I was like, this is something I tell my action figures. This is not storytelling. This is me talking like moving my hands together with two action figures in them. Like, my name is Venom. This is what I do. I used to live on a planet, and it's like, it seems so stupid. Like,
it's a lot of what is it called? Exposition.
The writing was like extremely shitty and like really dumbed down. Like, I don't know, whatever. Like,
okay, so listen.
It's a very broad movie, I suppose.
When Venom gets introduced and he talks to him, I was like, okay, he's just he kind of just tells him hungry.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of doing that.
And then you have these Tim and Eric scenes of him eating out of the trash.
I had to do a double take, because at first I was like, oh, so it's only going to talk to him kind of like in like it's starting to understand him. Like, they're two alien beings trying to communicate, and the one thing he got out of him was like hungry. And this and that. And I was like, oh, this might be cool. But then he's like, what are you doing? Put your hands down. Because, like, a bunch of people show up at his house with guns, and he's like, put your hands down. You're embarrassing us. I was like, what is happening right now? Like, this is a symbiote that came from space. He has no idea.
It's funny.
It's like, why would it give a crap about getting embarrassed? Like, I couldn't tell you what was happening. You know
what's pretty sad is that, like, the first Transformers movie does a better job of explaining how they talk like that in a matter of seconds.
What do they say?
We scan the internet and we know how your people talk. Okay,
no, well,
cool.
But even so,
that's it. Like, you could.
I get that.
Even have Venom like say like, oh, I'm part of you now. Like, I scanned your I know your thoughts or something to some extent like that. I don't know.
He does say that, but it feels like, I think what they were trying to do, and this is why I'm giving some of the I'm giving this movie a little bit of leeway because it's like they're trying to set up that there's a whole planet of these things, right? And because of that, like, they give each other names and they have a whole society where they're from.
Right.
So it has some form of society there.
Yeah.
And so, like, later on he says, like, I'm kind of a loser on my own planet, so I kind of want to stay here. And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
You know what's weird, too, is, like, a lot of the dialogue happens, like, while they're running. And it's almost, to me, it's almost like, was this just, like, shoved in at the last minute? Like, maybe, like, the editing in the movie is really fucking weird. Things just seem to teleport around sometimes, and... Okay.
Yeah, and there's a weird montage, like, right... Okay, so, here, I want to make this clear, because your identity crisis thing was very on point to a problem with the movie. At the very beginning, Eddie Brock is, like, this big macho dude. Take on the world. He loses his job... He loses his girlfriend, all that stuff. He's in the barrel. All of a sudden, he turns into, like, this meek individual.
Yeah.
Right? And he can barely do anything.
Right.
But he's still trying to get a job. So there's still a part of him that's like, I'm a badass. But then there's this scene where he's trying to get his neighbor to turn the music volume down. And he has, like, this rage outburst.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. Wasn't he just, like, this really meek individual who's like, I can't even take a swing at somebody? And then
to me that was like, why wouldn't he just punch him? He's obviously bigger than that guy. Like,
and he's been, they were showing how he's a reporter, how he's been, like, in riots, and he's been in the shit before. So why is he so, like,
he has tattoos?
Like, he's not dressed appropriately, and his attitude in the very beginning of the movie alludes to a person that he's a reporter. You can't be meek and be a reporter at the same time. At least not the way that Eddie Brock was.
You know what's funny is my friend mentioned that, because my friend likes Tom Hardy a lot, and he was telling me that, like, any movie where Tom Hardy has, like, a British accent, he sounds like a badass.
Okay.
But this guy apparently cannot do a very good English accent, and he says whenever he has to do an English accent, it's always like he plays some character that has some kind of, like, junky, like, personality or something. And I was like, I guess it's true, because in Venom he was kind of like, he was like scratching his ear when he had Venom, and he was like, oh, I don't know what's going on, I need to get to, I'm a reporter, I know that guy's guilty, and I need to, like, he was like fidgeting and, like, just being,
that makes sense after the transformation.
Yeah,
because his body is literally, like, they told him that your body's atrophying and your liver's shutting down and all this stuff. But, like, the problem is that he started doing that before he got the Venom suit. So the performance, I'm not saying anything about the actual performance. I think Ed Hardy made a choice to do these things. Tom Hardy, sorry. He made a choice to do these things, and he made a conscious decision about what the character was going to do when he did it. But I think that the place in which he decided to make those decisions didn't fit with the rest of the story.
Okay.
Like, becoming that meek individual would have fit better if it had moved all the way over to when he got the symbiote. Because feeling like you're out of your mind and your body's going through this, like, weird, almost like a relapse kind of thing, because he was, like, super hot and he was, like, hungry all the time.
Yeah.
It, like, that feels like you're almost on drugs. Okay. And then you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Okay. But before that, he should have been like, man, like, I'm so angry. My life's in the shitter, and, like, blah, blah, blah.
You know what?
He should have been more angry.
You know why I think the movie was in San Francisco? So they could have a car chase scene, and that's it. That is the only reason I think the movie is in San Francisco.
No, I think they purposely put it in San Francisco because they didn't. Because if it's in New York, you'd have to have Spider-Man.
So, okay, so what about... okay, I guess we won't get into that yet, but it's like, why is everybody... okay, whatever. Okay, I'll get to that later. Okay. I think my biggest problem with this movie was just that, like... I guess... How do you say it was, like, doomed from the start? How do you make a Venom movie without any mention of Spider-Man?
Well, I think that's what they were trying to do. Is
the origin of Spider-Man in general, or of Venom in general, is that the symbiote got on Spider-Man.
Right.
It obtained all of his Spidey attributes.
Right.
It jumped off of him.
Right.
Because Peter rejected it.
Right.
Eddie and the symbiote both hate Peter Parker. They join forces. That makes so much fucking sense.
Right.
It's like it's a good story
Because,
or something. And
okay,
like,
and here's the thing. It's like in the comics, the reason it's attracted to Peter is because Peter's a mutant. So it has powers. So when the symbiote attaches to it, it gains those same powers. Right. So it's able to extrapolate that from Peter, and when he rejects it, it still has the memory of Peter Parker. So when it attaches to Eddie, it's like, oh, we share that in common.
Yeah, that's where the spider.
That's where the attraction.
Yeah, I get that.
That's where the attraction to Eddie Brock is, right? And then Eddie Brock is able to do the whole Spider-Man thing because now he's absorbed those powers from Peter, and now he can use them with Eddie Brock. So that makes a lot of sense. You know what's funny is that they kept one thing from the Spider-Man universe.
What?
Is that the astronaut that went out was J. Jonah Jameson's son.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was one of the spaceship guys that survives. He's like, oh my god, Captain Jameson. And they're like, oh, we're going to save him.
So okay. That's cool, I guess. I mean, if you're... where did the ship crash then?
What do you mean?
Whatever. I guess it's a... this was
Does it matter where it crashed?
This was another thing that was really weird to me was like, why did that one symbiote come all the way to that guy, to the main villain?
It's the stupidest reason, but I know the reason.
What?
They crash landed and they want to go back to their planet. So they need a rocket.
Okay.
And they knew that this company built a rocket.
There's no other rockets anywhere. They just landed close to that place, I guess, or what?
No, they didn't land anywhere near it.
'Cause they were like in China or something, weren't they? Like
they were somewhere. I don't know exactly where they were, but it's like they were a good distance away.
It just
and
seems
it was like she was
so...
able to walk within a couple days.
Okay,
or a month.
That sequence as well was so like.
It reminded me of that scene in Constantine where the guy finds the blade of the devil.
Never seen
whatever.
it.
Oh well, in the very beginning, this guy finds like this spear head, and I think it's this. It's like some angelic things, and once he gets it, he just starts walking towards somewhere, and nothing can stop him. And it's exactly like that. He's like, as soon as he gets hit by a car, and it gets destroyed because it doesn't like affect him. He's got like superpowers with this thing, and he runs to the border because he's in Mexico, and he jumps over the thing. And
what I thought was really stupid was like, okay, it's this girl, right?
Right.
After, because that's where I came in, right when the girl gets possessed and it says Venom, whatever.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you missed that whole beginning because it's like.
Okay. Let me get on with this. It'll be fast. Okay. You get this young Asian girl. She comes over and for some reason chooses an old Asian lady as her next host.
Right.
Because why?
Because she knows the area.
I guess.
Look, I like.
Okay, but if that's your explanation, then why did she choose a little girl next?
The little girl in the airport?
Yeah.
Okay. Because she would go by innocently. Like, you're gonna stop an old lady. You're probably not gonna stop a little kid.
From entering a lab, yeah, I think you would.
A lab?
Yeah.
No,
because she goes all the way into the lab somehow.
No. Well, she goes. I think the reason she gets her is because she's getting on an airplane and going somewhere. You're not going to ask questions of a little girl on an airplane going somewhere. You're just going to let them through. And she got to town, so she was in his little girl suit or whatever, and just walks there. There's no reason to switch at that point, is there?
Okay, sure. I think another big problem I had with the movie was like people didn't react to the symbiote correctly.
No, they didn't.
Like
everybody laughed at it.
People were just like, "What?" Like you would be screaming for your like. Okay, so I'm gonna jump to the end real fast, just real quick, because it was actually the trailer of the movie. Is when he stops that burglary,
right?
And he turns into Venom right in front of that lady. It's like, all she says
like,
is,
"Eddie."
Yeah. What are you doing, Eddie? What is that? And he's like, oh, I got a parasite. It's like, what is... Are you serious?
That's the stupidest.
That's the reaction you give to a fucking alien symbiote. Okay. That makes sense.
And it's at the very... By the way, this is the very end of the movie when all this stuff has gone by. It's been weeks since the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
Months. And that's... in months?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
It said 6 months, I believe.
Because, like, if you don't know, Eddie Brock fights the better symbiote called Riot with Venom, and they beat him.
Okay, hold on. We'll get there right now.
But
okay,
really quick, let me just say this. After he beats him, the next scene is literally he's talking to what's her name, his ex-girlfriend, and they're like, ha ha ha, blah blah, and she's like, hey, I'm sorry about Venom, because he's supposedly gone, he burned up or whatever, and then you hear Venom say, she has no idea we're gonna get her back. I was like, okay. But then right after that, they go down the street. He's like, so you can only eat bad people, okay? I was like, wait, you haven't had this conversation for months? And you've been together for months, and you haven't had this conversation about let's not eat people?
I don't even know how
I was like, what?
I don't even know how Venom survived, because he said, bye, Eddie, as soon as he...
Goodbye, Eddie. He's like, Venom, no! And it's funny, they throw that in, that like, they throw it in kind of haphazardly, that Venom doesn't like sound. Right? None of the symbiotes like sound. And they make a mention of that subtly throughout the movie. But then when he's like literally spilling his guts to his ex-girlfriend, he's like, he doesn't like sound. He's like, or fire. Oh yeah, he doesn't like fire either. And that's kind of what kills the other guy at the very end is fire.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? Why would they just throw that in?
Yeah,
just like, why not? Because they did it better before, like when there was a sound, like the symbiote reacted to it, right? I was like, okay, that makes sense. But it's like fire.
You're asking why Venom willingly just gave them his.
Yeah, why would he just give up that information?
I don't know.
It's so weird.
Okay, so that scene where the symbiote is getting to its host or whatever, right?
Right.
Which is nothing new. That happens in the comic books. I get that. Takes control of a dog, right?
Oh my gosh, that's so dumb.
This Venom. He latches onto the girl at one point, and becomes Girl Venom.
Yeah, for like a minute.
Which I was like, okay, why is she all dope with the symbiote? Like in
because she got taken over by Venom. When he's with Eddie, he lets Eddie take control for a while.
Okay.
He's just using her to get somewhere. I don't understand the rules, Steven, because like Riot, the other symbiote, just takes control of people. Right? Okay. And then uses them up.
Yeah.
But like Eddie's Venom and Eddie, they're like partners because he chooses to be partners. I don't know exactly how it works. Okay. But like when he chose her and made her all sexy symbiote, that was weird. But I was like, well, when you use her like that, does that mean that he uses up her insides? Because that was a big point in the movie where they were like, he's just eating up the inside of this person.
That's what I understand is like, how come she didn't get all hungry and shit afterwards?
Yeah, I don't know.
She's like,
maybe it depends on
her
how
makeup stayed on and she looked perfectly fine afterward. Did you like how she kissed Eddie? And
it looks gross.
And Eddie had some kind of weird kiss with Venom.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, and she said, "Oh, that was Venom's idea." At the end.
Well, Venom's everywhere in him. Just remember,
I don't understand.
He's everywhere.
I don't. I don't know.
So look, okay.
How I feel about
I know
that.
we're criticizing it a lot. But to be honest, at some points I was just like, okay, whatever. Like I was saying that a lot throughout the movie. Like, okay, whatever. I gotta say, like the effects for it, I actually came to like the effects of the symbiote.
I thought the CG was kind of bad, honestly.
The CG with the fight at the end was pretty impressive. I gotta say, the fight with him and Riot at the end, I liked it.
It was really strange. At one point, they were one person.
Yeah. And
then they got on the rocket. And they split up into two people.
Yeah.
And then they were just two humans fighting, and he did like a slow-mo punch for some reason off of. Did you remember that?
Off he did like one of those MMA, like use one leg to punch him things. The CG was, like I said, got better there, but like the parts where he was turning into Venom, like when he goes over to his neighbor's house. Like his neighbor, and he says, "Hey, can you quiet down?" And he goes like, and he like has the eyes and teeth for a second. I was like, that looks like a Snapchat filter that you put on. And I was like, that was bad. I actually enjoyed later on when he's when he just turns into Venom, like that scene that they showed like last year where the teeth come over and he's like, "We're Venom."
That's what I kind of didn't like is that like I was like, man, all the coolest parts were honestly in the trailers.
They were,
and they
got worked on more because. if you look at the trailer and then you watch the movie again, it looks better.
Yeah,
it does.
I'm sure it does. But apparently, too, that scene where he's fighting the SWAT team, possibly the coolest scene in the movie. Where
Oh, the one with the gas and stuff? Yeah. Super
that
awesome.
was a trailer. That whole scene was a trailer, so I was like, okay.
So we saw this. I think the big scene, the fight with Riot, was the big, like... I liked the whole scaffolding fight. I really dug it.
It was okay, yeah. It looked a bit silly. It had...
Well, it's two symbiotes fighting, dude.
No,
like,
but it's just...
I don't like the conversation that Eddie's having with him. He's like, who's that? That's Riot. He's got some shit you haven't seen. Or says something to that effect. And then Eddie's just like, fuck it. Let's go save the world. And I was like, what? What?
Yeah. I really didn't understand certain parts of this film. It just seemed like there wasn't motivation in any of it. Like, it didn't feel real. I know that sounds stupid, right? And look, I understand a lot of people only watch movies once. I get that. We're like overanalyzing this film a lot.
Right.
But like, it's just been a while since I've seen a movie that's like shitty. You know? Like, and I say that
I wouldn't call it shitty.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way, okay? A lot of the X-Men movies are shit.
Yes, they are.
With the exception of maybe Logan, okay?
I have several friends who could possibly, who are going to listen to this, who are screaming at me that you haven't even watched Logan. I haven't watched Logan, but they tell me that that's like the big exception.
That's what I heard too. So I'm gonna exclude that one, okay?
Yeah.
I've seen the first three.
Yeah.
I saw Origins. I gave up. All right.
I'm in the same boat. Like I was
this guy had too many chances. All right. I'm fucking done. Okay.
I told him it's like an abusive,
yeah,
boyfriend and girlfriend. There's only so many times you're gonna
let
them.
You don't even understand. Yeah, you understand. Like, these movies were so hyped up. Like, every time.
Days of Future Past. They're gonna show Sentinels. It's gonna be cool. We got Jennifer Lawrence and these. They're dope.
No.
Blah, blah, blah.
That everyone liked that one. First Class, they were like, it's cool, right?
Right.
And then I remember when Origins was coming out, people were so hyped for it. And like the following weekend, I asked people like, "Oh, what'd you think of Origins?" They're like, "Oh, it's a cheesy piece of shit." It was so garbage. I was like, you were following every step of production of this movie, and you couldn't see that. Like, back to my point real fast. Okay, I hadn't seen a movie that just felt like so like not made by comic book fans,
right?
Made by people who do market research,
right?
Made by people who just know what an audience is gonna like. Yeah, because I'm not shitting you. Okay, we were watching. Me and my friend John were watching this movie. There were some kids behind us, maybe like in high school. Every scene they were like, "Fuck yeah!" They were like all in on Venom. They were like, "Fuck yeah! This is so cool. This is the best movie ever."
Dude,
like,
Eddie Brock should have had a vape, and then we're like, "Dude, did you see that?
I'm surprised.
Did you see that cloud he just ripped, dude?"
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't Snapchat. I'm surprised he didn't.
My gosh.
I'm surprised Eddie wasn't like, like, "Hey Venom, let's get the snap streak going." I'm sorry, these references are too young for Ernie.
My gosh.
He doesn't get these references.
I'm an old man.
Yeah, I'm one of the young kids. I'm one of the cool kids. Sorry. But yeah, we should get to the end here. Okay.
All right. So at the end, right?
Did you look it up?
No, I didn't look it up. So I watched the movie and then I walked out.
Okay, yeah.
But then Steven, I talked to Steven the next day and I was like, yeah, I watched Venom. And by the way, I'm exhausted today because I went to go see it really late. And he's like, did you stay to the end? Because it was a thing. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
No, I had to come home. I had to go to sleep.
So you want me to tell you what it was?
You might as well just tell me what it was.
Okay. So Eddie Brock is on his motorcycle. He's going to some prison place. Mm-hmm. And they very cleverly don't use CG at all. Mm-hmm. He just says, just let me handle this Venom. And he's like, okay, you go, girl. Right?
He doesn't say that.
Yeah, it says something like that. Same thing. So they go into the prison, right? And he's got a notepad. He's going to be interviewing somebody. He's Eddie Brock again. Mm-hmm. Somehow. I don't know how he got unblacklisted from society.
They don't explain it, but there is an explanation.
Okay.
Anyway, keep going.
So he's unblacklisted. He's going to interview some guy. He comes in there, and the guy has written Venom or something like that, or Eddie or something. Welcome Eddie or something in blood on his cell. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, he's just like, hey, come a little closer so you can see me. And he comes a little closer, and you can see that this man has orange hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of deranged, and he's kind of skinny. And it's Woody Harrelson in like a fucking clown wig, which looks so ridiculous. It really doesn't look good, right?
Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson. Woody Boyd from Cheers. And he says, I just want you to know one thing. When I get out of here, there's going to be carnage. So I don't know what that means. But if anybody of you can if anyone of you can explain that to me. So
Woody Harrelson is gonna be Carnage.
Yeah, like what the fuck is that? I don't
That's
really
strange.
I don't really understand.
It's not that. Oh, and let me just put this out there. I like Woody Harrelson. I do. I really do.
Uh-huh.
I liked him in Zombieland. I actually liked him in Solo. I thought he was really good in Solo.
You know what?
What?
The director of this movie,
Uh-huh.
I believe, directed Zombieland.
There you go.
So
that's why.
So that's why he did it.
Never mind. All this goes out the window. Because like Cassidy is a means to an end, right?
Uh-huh.
They used Cassidy because they wanted Spider-Man and Venom to team up.
Okay.
And that's why they team up, is because they both have to stop Cassidy.
Okay.
Which is, by the way, that's Carnage. He's another symbiote, Steve.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And then, in the symbiotes that they catch,
Uh-huh.
there's a blue one, which is the one that Eddie got. There's a gray one that's Riot. And then there's a yellow one.
Yeah.
That becomes the female symbiote.
Right.
That joins Carnage's team.
Okay.
But I didn't see the red one at all.
Yeah, I don't.
So I don't know where that came from.
I don't know a lot about like the symbiote lore or whatever.
Yeah.
I do know that there was a comic called Planet of the Symbiotes.
Yeah.
Which is like, it gets into the realm of like, this is just shit they're making up afterwards. You know, like it's like Venom was the original one. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if anybody knows this. I certainly didn't. Todd McFarlane co-created Venom. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Well, because he at some point, there's a very famous cover, and it's the first time Todd McFarlane takes a crack at Spider-Man, and it's like the whole cover is like, it's all webbed up, that's actually, Spider-Man is hunching in it, right?
Yeah, it's a really famous issue. It's actually the first issue of a self-titled just Spider-Man.
Right.
And it was a series that was given to Todd McFarlane specifically because he had gained a lot of popularity
for Spawn.
Through no, he didn't have Spawn yet. Oh. This was before. The way he drew Spider-Man, people were like, the eyes are big. Mm-hmm. He looks badass, and he was the first one to do the web that looked like spaghetti strands. That's what they call it. Mm-hmm. So like it's kind of hard to explain, but like the lines, and then there's like a knot on it, and then there's like another knot on it, like that pattern of people didn't draw web like that before him. Yeah. So he was the one that
was just like a line before.
Yeah, so he kind of streamlined a lot of Spider-Man stuff, which I didn't know. I was reading all of this myself.
He was the one who started to do like these crazy, like he enlarged his feet a lot. He made it so that like Spider-Man's legs would, like he looked like he was twisting and doing all these crazy moves in the air.
Yeah.
And people really, really dug those poses.
Yes. So he did. He actually popularized a lot of things in the Spider-Man universe, and he got kind of cocky because this guy is extremely egotistical. I actually just heard a story about him recently that he had a panel at New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
And he announced like another Spawn movie, and he was saying like it's gonna be like, he was like, children are gonna cry at this movie, and I was like, okay.
Why would they cry?
Like because it's so shitty.
I actually met Todd. I was able to meet Todd as a in Player G4. I was like, I got to meet him for like at the maximum 10 minutes. But like I was able to talk shop with him a little bit and just talk to him. I was like, yeah, man, like loved your comics from back in the day. He's like, did you used to ink your stuff with brush and blah blah blah. And when he's talking shop, he's the nicest person ever. But like, I don't know what he's like when you have to actually work with him.
No, yeah, I don't know. He's a very ambitious individual.
I mean, he's built an empire. According
to his Wikipedia page, I know this is far too much Todd McFarlane information that you guys don't want, but he like would send out 30 to 40 packages a month to anybody who wanted a comic book artist, like to Marvel and to like, and he would get a lot of rejection letters, and he would get a lot. but he sent out so many fucking things a month that eventually some guy gave him like a dummy script and was like, all right, do this. And they did it, and that's how he got his big break. Like, he fucking just...
And that's what now...
He just overwhelmed them, basically, with material. And, like, it's just like, shit, dude. Like, if there's anything to take from that story, it's like, just draw until your fucking hand is bleeding. Like, because...
Yeah, like, his Todd McFarlane style is very distinct. Just like Frank Miller, just like all these different people. So it's like, you either love Todd McFarlane or you don't.
Yeah.
Right? I tend not to like his stuff now, but I did love his stuff way back in the day.
I remember when I was a child, I got a Spawn comic book because I loved how Spawn looked. And I remember the subject matter was like the dumbest shit to me as a kid. Like, he writes things that are very dark. He writes about like child rape and like weird like sodomy shit. And apparently that's why he left Marvel.
That's what he wanted to write about.
Because they were just like, you're taking Spider-Man in like this weird dark direction, and
isn't it perfect that that's where Venom came from?
Yeah, I know, and it's like they were just they basically kept telling him like, Spider-Man's lighthearted. Don't, like, what are you doing?
But
like,
that's why Venom works so well, is just like that he was in the comics, he tortured Peter psychologically.
Yeah.
He would do things to mess with him in a way that he couldn't fight back. Like, he would make friends with people in his life and be like, at any moment I could just kill them.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's super dark.
You know what's funny too is like, so I was reading a lot about Venom. Apparently there's you know how they do different origin stories, everyone does their own take. Apparently there's a story of Venom. I don't know what comic book it is. But there's a version of Eddie Brock that has cancer, and the
symbiote heals him.
And the symbiote, yeah, basically heals him, and he's constantly dying without it or something.
Sounds like Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly. Actually,
yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, eventually, like, so in that book, something happens where the symbiote comes off of him and tries to get to Peter, and Eddie Brock actually dies completely, and then the symbiote comes back to him and resurrects his dead body. What my point was, in Venom, he like dies at the end,
right?
And the symbiote like resurrects him. So I wonder if that was like maybe some kind of nod to that, or if like, I'm giving them far too much credit at this point.
I think you're giving them far too much credit, because they probably just like, he could be dead, but like, you ever seen that kind of like I think they did this in The Sixth Sense or something like that. Or, no, not in The Sixth Sense, in Signs.
Okay.
Like, the way the guy's wife dies is she's pinned to a tree with a car.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, if we
move the car, she's gone. So say your goodbyes now, because we're going to move the car pretty soon. You can't just have this in here in the tree, man. You can't just have it here. It's traffic.
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, there's a fire hydrant right there. So
we gotta move.
Yeah, if you don't. Yeah, you said.
But it's like, it could be something like that. Like, he was stabbed with this metal shard or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Whatever. I guess that makes sense.
You know, I'm not holding my breath for a part 2 of this.
There is.
I know there is, but like,
no. Well, actually,
them trying, like,
I should say,
here's the problem, right? And I know that eventually Marvel's going to do Venom. Their own version of Venom.
That's what kind of makes me sad, is like, I feel like that's going to put that on hold for a long time.
Right. Well, the thing is, like, first Peter has to do the black suit, then Venom can come out. But see, that's what makes Venom so awesome, right? The part of him that's torturing Peter psychologically, the fact that he knows so much about Peter, because the symbiote extracts everything the symbiote knows. Once it moves over, it knows everything about you and can use it against you later on. Like, that's what makes Venom scary. Not because he's some big dude with like teeth and,
I mean, like, yes,
big
also
tongue,
that, but yeah.
But also that, sure. But it's like, that's what makes him scary. Is like, he knows everything about you and you don't know anything about them.
Apparently, the tongue was somebody else. So like, I'm sorry, I read a lot about it. I guess this guy, I think his name was...
he always had the tongue.
David Michelini and Todd McFarlane are credited for, like, created him. But, like, over time, in different issues, he just, like, gained more. And one of the things was, like, the tongue was longer. And they gave him, like, green, like, spit to go on it and stuff.
And by the way,
like that wasn't
always
part of
been
it.
But they've never. I've never seen them say that he has, like, venom.
No, I know that's just his nickname or what. I don't fucking understand.
I think they call him Like he originally it was like, we're poison to you, Spider-Man. So we call ourselves Venom.
Yeah, like spiders have
original
venom. Yeah, I get it.
And like he's always been.
It's because he was a loser on his planet.
Right.
So
that makes total sense.
That makes perfect sense.
He's always been black with like a blue tinge. You know what I mean? Like he looks like oil, essentially.
Yeah.
But like, if I can just say this, because we're coming to the end of this and we have to wrap it up.
Yeah, we had to wrap this up.
One of my favorite versions of Venom has always been the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 version, with him in blue.
Yeah,
and that Eddie Brock that's just like a crew cut, big beefy dude, white t-shirt and pants. I don't know why, but like they got him, they nailed him.
Yeah, they did.
Not to just bring it back to like us loving Capcom back in the day, but that Venom was so dope.
I was hoping for more weapons made out of the symbiote, because in that game he creates like a shield to block when he
also throws out Venom, like I don't know what you would call them, but they're like little Venom. Smaller Venom things with teeth, and he attacks you with them.
He becomes a huge Venom Fang, where he also
uses web, and he like throws you with the he'll pick you up and throw you with the web and slam you on the floor.
Yeah.
A lot of different stuff from Venom, but it's like, I don't know. His overall style I did like, because he still looked like oil and stuff.
I was actually gonna say that if I'll end on a high note, okay?
Yeah.
I'll end with the things I did like about the film. Not much, unfortunately, but he looked fine. And when I say that, I mean like Venom was substantially bigger than Eddie Brock, which I like. Yeah. It looked like he was like kind of like his proportions were cartoony, basically.
Right.
And that's what I liked about it. I was like,
I think they made that change consciously.
Yeah, I was like, that's good. He should be like that. I wouldn't like it if it was like, because one of the things I hated about Spider-Man 3 was that, like, Topher Grace wasn't even that big. He was, like, basically just, like...
He's just Peter.
Topher Grace black, you know? Like, so, I don't know. But, yeah, I like that. The car chase scene was pretty cool.
No, yeah, it was great.
That whole sequence was like, all right.
Sequence was great.
Yeah, it was what I wanted to see was like him being Venom and like using the symbiote to like he was like catching himself on the pole and he like did this cool turn and stuff. I was like, all right. I would have rather seen him swing from a building, but I guess this is fine. Like,
but that's the thing; they were trying to separate themselves so much from Spider-Man. Yeah,
Spider-Man is 99% swinging on buildings.
Yeah. Because think about it, if he had done that, they wouldn't have been able to catch him in the cars.
The cover of the fucking first comic book he's in, that Amazing Fantasy comic book.
Yeah.
He's fucking swinging from a goddamn building, because that's
Spider-Man.
That's what he can do. That's his unique thing. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, whatever. Any final thoughts on this? What did you?
I would say that if you're gonna go watch a movie and you want a superhero, I would totally watch this. This is a movie you'll probably just watch once, and if you're gonna watch it, watch in the theater. Watch it in the theater once, because I don't know if you wanna, because to take advantage of the big sound effects and seeing it on the big screen, definitely plays well to this movie. So watch it in the theater, because you're probably not gonna get it later on, but just like to watch it and know what's going on with the I don't know what you would call this. Who made this movie again? It was Sony? No,
it was Sony. It had to be, right?
I don't
they had the license.
But like whoever's making that, just so you know. And by the way, Tom Hardy, he did a good job.
Stan Lee has a cameo, right?
Yeah, he's at the very end. He's just like, "Hey, you two, don't you give up on yourselves. Yeah. You guys will get together soon." I'm like, that's stupid. He had a better cameo in what is it? He had a better cameo in
Homecoming.
No, what's the one where he's just spray painted on the side of a building?
Deadpool.
Is that Deadpool?
Yeah.
I like that one better.
Yeah. I remember I caught that one. There was actually he has a similar cameo in the Defenders.
Oh, does he?
He's on a Heroes for Hire poster.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
What about when he's a DJ at a strip club?
Which one is that?
Deadpool.
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Because Deadpool 2 is the one where he's on the wall or whatever.
Yeah. But
That's okay, sure, whatever. Why not?
There's two busty ladies next to him. He's like, wait till you get to the. He's like, here comes what's her name, and blah. Like he's announcing the dancers and stuff. I was like, good on you, Stanley.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, I would recommend Magman 11. Magman 11 is pretty good. I'm liking it so far, but it's hard.
Best bang for your buck for me is The Messenger. If you haven't played it, big fan of like Ninja Gaiden, some side scrollers.
Mm-hmm.
This thing takes it to a whole new level.
I feel like you've recommended it like 3 weeks in a row already.
But it's good, man. Like even if you like Dead Cell, like I still recommend that very highly. I'm still playing that. Messenger's great.
That game got immensely popular.
Dead Cell?
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's a great game.
Somebody at my work was talking about it, and I was like, if this guy knows about Dead Cells,
he must listen to the show.
No, yeah, I'm sure. He watched our Devil May Cry playthrough. Okay, but shit, I could have brought up Devil May Cry, but I didn't. I held it back.
Don't. You've done so much Devil May Cry.
Oh, man. I'm so excited.
So for me, watch Venom.
Yeah.
Mario Party.
That's what I was gonna ask.
I would kind of recommend it. If you've liked Mario Party in the past and you want it on the go so you can play with your friends, totally get it. It's totally worth it. Now, your single player experience may not be as great. Because I'm still testing out that stuff. All the single player stuff. Because there's a bunch of stuff for single player.
When are we going to get new games on Nintendo Online? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. But so far, I've loved it.
That's the question. That's the question of the week for Nintendo.
And if you haven't, check out our Play Toons about us playing Mario 3. Because
we're playing Mario 3.
Intense.
And it's pretty cool. It's been very fun. It's a very fun game.
It's a very fun game.
I know I sound very angry and assertive right now, but it's just because it's the truth. It's so good.
Let me just tell you. An episode in the next few days, Steven gets, he does some clutch moves.
Yeah.
So stick around for
some
that.
Very
Seriously,
epic maneuvers.
Yeah. Some epic maneuvers. You guys will see them.
But that does it for this week, guys. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.